So I found out that week of January 24th is National Fertility Week in Nigeria. And number one, I'm very happy, very impressed that we are having conversations and we are advocating this very prevalent issue, because it can carry so much stigma, it can carry so much weight. And then I knew that I had to speak about it. I had to speak about my journey, working, dealing with infertility as a result of PCOS. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Shareful with Busola. Here we share on a variety of topics. We have meaningful conversation. We have fun, very important. What's life without fun? We have fun, but provide insights on a number of topics that people are seeking answers to. I'm so happy, so grateful to all the likes. I read all the comments, had fun, just having virtual conversations with you guys. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for supporting me. Today I'll be talking about my fertility journey, as well as my PCOS story in honor of the National Fertility Week being celebrated in Nigeria. So week of January 24th. I mean, I just found out yesterday, and I thought it was important that I use my platform to speak on this topic that can be very lonely. It can carry a lot of stigma, very heavy, but it's important that I provide as much information, and then I share my story so that someone doesn't feel as alone. Dealing with infertility is a very, very difficult thing. I mean, it can put a strain on the people involved. It can put a strain on their relationships. It can put a strain on one's mental health. I would say, first and foremost, please don't feel like you have to deal with it alone. A lot of people are dealing with so many challenges, right? And we have to figure out how to deal with it. So you have to figure out the underlying issue first of all, and look for a way to manage it, so get it resolved as much as possible so that you can achieve your aim. When it comes to infertility and having a baby, I support every form of assisted fertility process, as long as it's not harmful to anyone. It's not harmful to the people going through it, the families, whatever. You're going through the process. You are managing it through a legal means, if that makes sense. So IVF, surrogacy, what else is the egg donor? I am totally in support of it, as long as you have prayed about it, and an adoption, as long as you've prayed about it and you have the peace of God, you have a strong conviction to go ahead with it. I mean, whatever gets you the family you want. Okay, so for me, it was difficult to get pregnant because I was dealing with PCOS. The truth is, I didn't even know I had PCOS until, say, year 4 of marriage. What is PCOS, you might ask? The first time I heard, I was thinking, what is it? Like, is it pause? Is it like, what is this jargon? What is this medical jargon? I don't claim to know all the answers, so please do your own research, do further research, and get to a specialist doctor to run you through and help you manage whatever medical challenge you're dealing with. So PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and what it means is a hormonal problem. is a condition that affects the hormone levels of women, and in most cases what it means is that your body is producing more male hormones than female hormones. That impacts it impacts women's lives in different ways. Aside from fertility, it there are certain features, right? Or certain conditions that women deal with, women with PCOS. So things like excessive hair on different parts of your body, your chin, and things like that, or thinning hair. So you are going bald in your hair in certain places. You have dark knuckles. What else? Oh, your period is so irregular and is painful. So once you check a couple of these boxes, it's important you go to the hospital, see a specialist, run the tests, and take it from there. So how did I know that? How did I get my diagnosis? I mean, I would say when I was 21, 22, I mean, so several years back, or maybe not several years back, a few years back, I noticed that my period was irregular. It was so erratic, it was ridiculous. Initially I didn't mind, to be honest. I didn't mind missing, the occasional 1 month period, 2 months. Like, it was a relief anyways, because when it would come, it would be very heavy and it was so inconvenient to me. So yeah, initially I didn't miss it at all, until I remember, I mean, when it was a problem for me was when my period didn't come until for like 4 months, and then I knew there was a problem. So then I was unmarried. I spoke to my mom, and then we went to the hospital in Ikorodu at the time, in Ikorodu in Lagos State. At the time, I used to live in Ikorodu, and then we saw a doctor who had said, "Oh, okay, I need to backtrack." When my period became slightly irregular, so the 1 month, 2 month miss, I told my mom, we went to the hospital, we saw a doctor that probably, he pulled me, he annoyed me, to be fair. I don't know how else to put it. Excuse me. So we went to the doctor. It was just me, went in to see the doctor. I explained to him. Did he even run any test? I feel like I've blanked out my encounter with the guy, my experience with the doctor. And he told me I had an hormonal, it seemed like, the guy was so flippant about it, that it seems like an hormonal problem. What did they call it? Was it hyperthyroidism? And I asked him, okay, so, and to him he was like, yeah, so yeah, you just use this drug and yeah, pretty much like you can leave. And I asked him what it meant. Okay, so what does this mean? And what is its implication? Will the drugs correct? Like, where are we? Guess what he told me? He told me to Google it. Remember, I said I was like 21, 22, so I was still very innocent and very nice. If anybody tells me that today, that person is going to get a lot, not a little bit of my mind, a lot. But so anyways, that guy kind of made me just it just made me ignore it. It made me ignore the problem, to say, well, it's 1 month, 2 months, I've seen the doctor. It didn't seem super bothered. So not sure this is a problem, even though it felt odd. So yeah, moving forward to 4 months, no period, I was scared. At this point, I was scared. I was like, what's going on? Is there a blockage somewhere? What is going? Is weird. And at the time, I was beginning to add weight. And then I saw the doctor, and she gave me some drugs. So she just said, yeah, hormonal problems, but gave me drugs to force the period. Like, I think it was some sort of contraceptive. Again, I don't remember because I didn't get answers to the questions I was asking them. So she asked me to use the drugs, but yeah, I wasn't satisfied. So I didn't use the drug. And funny enough, my period came the next day on its own. So at that point I felt like, okay, something is wrong. We don't know what is wrong because the doctors are not telling me what is wrong. But it doesn't seem super bad, otherwise they'll be alarmed. So I guess I'll just live with it. And yeah, so that was the beginning of, was it the beginning? I mean, so that was the story of irregular periods. Fam, my period was horrible. Like, the period even traumatized me. I'll explain. It will come whenever it feels like coming. Like, okay, so I knew that as a woman you're supposed to have your period. When it will come, I didn't know. So every day in my bag I always had a full pack of pads. A full pack. Because, I mean, why not just one or two? Because when the period comes, it comes like kanji dam has been released. It comes in torrents. Like, it comes in torrents. I literally use like, I run through a whole pack of pads. Is it 7 in it? In a day. No jokes. No jokes. Otherwise, I would be stained. It was so bad. When my period would come, I would only wear dark or black colored bottoms or dresses or whatever because I didn't want any incidents at work. It was so traumatic. Yeah, so painful periods. So for me, dark knuckles, those are my symptoms. Thinning hair, not so much, but I guess a little bit. And then I guess I'm airy on my hands, not so much on my face, but on my hands. So I mean, I lived with it, no drugs, nothing. And when I was about to get married, I had to bring it up to my husband to let him know that, when we're having one of those conversations, I let him know that I know something is off, but I don't know what the problem is. My period doesn't come as regularly. Sometimes, I didn't explain. Sometimes when it comes and you don't know when it's going to go. My period has never been less than 7 days, so it ranks from 7 days. So it keeps pouring for 7 days to, I think the longest I've gone was like 30 something days, 32 days or something like that. Yeah. And then it will come whatever month again. So it's just a disaster. I didn't know what the problem was. So about to get married, I let my husband know, I have this irregular period. I don't know if it will affect fertility. And as a Christian, he said, we'll be fine, we'll pray about it. Like, that's not a problem. Okay, so we got married. The period will come, it will go, it will come or not come, and all that. I went to all sorts of doctors, and this is very annoying. It is so annoying to me, because I saw a number of doctors, and gynecologists as well. So after we got married, and what they kept on telling me was, you are anxious, you're so anxious, so that's what's causing it. What is the it? I didn't know what it was. Nobody was telling me what it was. You're so anxious, that's what's causing. Just relax. How did I find out? Like I said, not until like year 3 or 4 of marriage. And it's so funny how I found out, because I'd gone through several tests, and they had taken my blood for a number of tests, and nobody had told me what I was dealing with, until very close friend of mine told me that our brother-in-law is a gynecologist. Speak to him. I lived in Nigeria at the time, and it was in the UK, guys, or fam. I had to go all the way to the UK to see him in his house, to visit him and his family. And he looked at me I kid you not, guys. He looked at me, looked at my hands, and said, "Okay, you seem to be a bit airy. Your knuckles are a bit dark. How is your period? Just asked me a couple of questions in his house, and told me it might be PCOS. Go back when you go back to Nigeria, run some tests, run XYZ tests. Let me know what the levels are, what the results are, and we'll go from there." And that was it. I ran the test and he just confirmed the suspicion, and he recommended a colleague of his, a hospital, and that was how I knew it was PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So at the hospital they had advised that I take metformin. I guess metformin works for some people, but it didn't work for me because I was nauseous. It just did not. I hated taking it. It would make me very dizzy and useless. I just knew it couldn't work. I mean, give me something else. And then at that point I started losing weight. So this is at this point I started adding weight, and this is another symptom. You just find out that you are adding weight and it's very difficult to lose the weight. I eventually discovered a supplement. I liked it, personally liked it, very good. It worked well for me to manage the symptoms of PCOS. So it would help my period have a semblance of normalcy. So I remember this day, I would never forget. I got home from work. I discovered my period had come. There was no light. Thanks, Nepa. There was no light. I didn't put on the gen. I cried. And it's also a good thing to release your emotions, whatever emotions you're holding on to. I cried because I felt the emotions were suffocating. I let it go. I let it out. And my heart broke. I cried from the depth of my heart. And I questioned God. I didn't hear. I questioned God. I have that kind of relationship with God where we have real, genuine conversations. I questioned God. He was silent that day. Or I didn't hear that day. And my husband came in. God sent my husband at that time, and he saw me crying. He came in, there was no light, and he was surprised. Why didn't you put on the gen? And he saw me crying, and he held me and asked what the problem was, and I told him my period had come. Meanwhile, at the time, he knew that my period was AWOL or MIA. And he just held me, he allowed me cry. He didn't say a word. I remember one day, I was at the supermarket. I was going in to the supermarket and I met a former colleague. She was with her family. Oh no, she was by herself. She was coming in. I think I was leaving the supermarket, and we met just outside. And we hadn't seen in a while. And with her big crass mouth, she said in front of everyone to hear, Busola, you and your husband, you guys are not, what is the problem? You guys don't want to have children, eh? What are you waiting for? That made me mad. So I mean, the reason why I mention it is let's just chalk it up to some people don't know that the things they say are insensitive. Some people don't know that when they say, you've added weight, are you pregnant? Or some people don't know that few months, few weeks, few years, whatever, after you get married, once you just fall ill, whatever it is, malaria for instance, they say, oh, are you pregnant? Have you eaten cockroach? Let's just chalk it up to ignorance, that they are doing it without any malice in their hearts. But I would say, as someone who has been through that process, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Mind your business. If you feel for that person, if you know someone going through infertility, pray for the person. If the person is close enough to you, the person will come to you. The person will come and have a conversation, right? If you've created that safe place, please don't. Mind your business. Leave people alone. Leave them alone. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know if it's their choice or not. When they are pregnant, you would know. You want to know. When they are pregnant, you would know. You want to know, Abby. That's it. You would know. I mean, pregnancy is not something that you can hide. When the person is obviously pregnant and when the person is ready to tell, the person will tell you. But please be human, be sensitive. And to everyone who is going through the journey of infertility, please, I'll say a couple of things. Number one is to go to a good hospital, find a good doctor, good hospital, find out what the underlying problem is and how you can manage it. Once you get the advice from the doctors, do your own, run further research, speak to other people. If you're dealing with PCOS, for instance, look for PCOS support groups. If you are dealing with whatever condition it is, fibroids, whatever, look for people you can speak to. Let it out. Let it out. Holding it in. I know the culture of don't tell anybody, don't let people know what you're going through. I mean, to what end? Speak to someone about it, but whilst you're speaking to someone about it, on the other hand, figure out what the problem is and how to manage it. Obviously, and this goes to all those family members, not every infertility problem is the woman's, is from the woman. Yeah, is from the woman. There are several cases of male infertility as well, but I would say this: it doesn't matter who is dealing with the medical challenge. It really doesn't matter. It's very important that husband and wife come together with a united front. Know that this person is not the problem, this person is not the enemy, or this other person, the enemy is the problem. So come together, be united, and fight against that problem. And one question I've seen a lot is, if I have PCOS, will I get pregnant? Will I ever have my baby? Absolutely. And I would say this: if you have PCOS, what it means is that possibly getting pregnant, it might possibly affect your fertility. So it might possibly impact your ability to get pregnant on your own, which is why I've said seek a good doctor and have a plan of action. And if you have to go the assisted fertility route, please do so. Yeah, so that's my PCOS story. I hope that I have helped. If you have any question at all, please reach out to me. You can either send me an email or drop your comments in the comment section below. I'll help you in any way I can, give you recommendations, the things I did that kind of helped me along the way. If you're looking for a support group, there are good support groups out there. I would recommend PCOS Conquerors. That helped me a lot because it was a forum for people dealing with PCOS, and so people were dropping nuggets as to what they did, what helped them, things like that, exercise, diet, all that. It helps, it takes the weight a little, it makes the journey a little bit more bearable, going through it with people. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned anywhere that I've tried the assisted fertility route and it was a success for me. Today I have a beautiful daughter, which is why I absolutely am in support. If you have any questions, please drop your comments below. It was very important for me to do this video because going through mine, I would always check for videos and watch to see to see that I wasn't alone, as well as to see what else to do, what other people were doing. I hope this video was able to bring some enlightenment and comfort. Infertility needs to be destigmatized. I really don't know why the numbers are what they are. I would say they are high. Some people say it's the toxins in our environment, but whatever it is, we'll get through it together. I love you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, support your girl. And drop your comments in the comment section below. Take care. Bye.